Hey guys, Chris here from Blockchain Brothers, and today we're going to have a look at a few strategies you can use when looking at charts. So the first one is Trendlines. It's nice and simple. I like to always look at price action when looking at charts. There's lots of people, they use RSIs or MACDs, all sorts of other indicators, which is fair enough. It's whatever works for you, but for me, I prefer to look at price action because that at the end of the day is what really matters. So when I'm charting or when I'm looking at trends, I'll just literally zoom out on the daily. We've got Polkadot USD pair here, and I'll just show you. You can do this with everything. You'll always get a few trend lines. This one is obviously quite a good trend line. If we went there, as you can see, that is quite a strong one where it bounces along there, and it's bounced off of that one. Previous to that, we would have gone something like this maybe. Again, nice strong trend line, but it did break, so now it's gone down to that one. You're always just looking at trend lines. You'll always get sustainable trends and unsustainable trends, and the unsustainable trends will be within the sustainable trends. So again, like for example, this is a hugely unsustainable trend, but the saying goes, the trend is your friend until the bend at the end. Well, that trend would have been your friend all the way up here until the bend at the end where it broke, come back to kiss it, comes back down, actually it turned out to be a nice double top or sort of a wafty head and shoulders maybe, but it then eventually broke down to the downside. And the markets, it's like an elastic band. You will literally launch off here and it will want to get back to its base support, which is here on the trend line. It wants to get back there and then it will bugger off again and then spring back. And this time it sprung back to this one. Again, nobody knows really which directions things are going. You just follow what the charts are telling you. And in this case, the chart's telling you, obviously at the moment, we're on a downtrend. So for example here, we'd look at that one as your trend line. That's a big strong trend line. If it breaks out of that, happy days. It might go sideways for a bit and then go off, but the chances are as soon as it breaks that, we're going to have a nice little bounce back up. So this is why trend lines are good. As you can see, they're quite accurate and they give you a good indication on which way the markets are going to be going. The other thing we like to use are previous supports and resistances, because a previous support will become the future's resistance and vice versa. The previous resistance will become a future support. So what do we mean by this? If we take a look at a section, so I'm going to show you one that's already been filled out, so then you can see that how accurate this actually is. So we'll look at, for example, we'll look at this in between this sort of section here. So we're working within this sort of range here. And we'll go to the downside. So, well, no, we'll go to the upside. The upside looks a nice one on that one. So we're going to show you the supports on this side here, on the upside of this market, and then obviously it comes back down and then goes back up again, and these previous supports here will become this future's resistance, and you'll see how accurate this actually is. Just to mark it so I know where I'm going when I go down to the 4 hourly, because we always go down to the 4 hourly for this, because this is where the big boys trade, and that's where you want to be. You want to be trading with the big boys. So that's our area there, and then this will be the new one. I'll change colour of that so I know where I'm working with, and this one. So we'll chart all of this upside's supports, and then that will become this upside's resistance. So let's go down to the 4 hourly, and now I've got to find it. That's why I had to put the verticals in. And here we are. So we'll start from here and follow this up within our range lines here. So let's zoom in a bit. we want to see those candlesticks so we can see where the previous supports are. So up here, this is its first resistance, and we'll follow it back to its support, which is there. You can see that little support there, which is pretty much where we are there anyway. So then we want to change these to the horizontals. So we're looking to beat this last resistance, and there's the candle to beat that last resistance, but there's the new resistance. So we'll follow that back, and there's its support. So we will mark the supports. Then we're looking to beat that high now, and we don't do that until here. Then we go back down to its support, and there is its support there, round about here. Then we get a new resistance up here, and we come back down to the support, which is there. And remember, all of these supports will be the futures resistance. And then a new one up here, so then there's a support there. And a new resistance up here, support there, resistance up here, support there. And just mark all of them. Then we've got a new one up here, so support there. And it doesn't really take too long, to be fair. And then we've got this one up here, so then we'll go back down there. There's a resistance, we go to the support. Then we've got to beat this one up here, which we don't for a while. It sort of ranges until we get to here. And then we go to the support, which is there. There's the support. That doesn't beat it, but this one does up here. So we go down to there for the support, which is there. And then do we have, there it is. There's the big one there. Oh. Put that there. So then there's its resistance, and we come back down for its final support, which is down all the way down there. Yeah. So now we've charted that. Let's come back out and go over, and we'll see how well this works. So let's zoom back in. So all of those supports will become the futures resistance, and here we go. So we start from here. It broke that, comes back down to it, and then makes its way up to it, comes back down, bashes through there, back down, hits it there, back down, busts through that one, pulls back, hits that one, pulls back, tries to touch that one, couldn't do it, obviously had to go off and look for some more buys and sells, and then finally managed to do it. Dink, hit it, comes back, breaks this one, because as soon as it hits these previous supports and new resistances, they are out of the picture basically. They've been done, the target's been hit. So then it tries to get that one, couldn't do it, comes back, hits it, comes back, tries to hit that one, couldn't do it, comes all the way back, and then finally busts through it, comes back, settles on it, and then it's just sort of ranging again from here, up, busts through it, back down a little bit, and then there we are. So that's why they're a very good indicator to show you possibly where things are going to be hitting, because obviously you have your targets marked out. But it does do things where it ranges for a while and vice versa. But say we're coming down here now, say it breaks out of this, we know exactly pretty much where the new resistances will be. So say it busts out of this one, we'll have a bounce there, and then we're fully expecting it to go there. Now it won't play out as perfectly as this, but it will do something like this, because sometimes it can range within these two for a while, But these are our targets, and it will always go near the targets, always, until it decides to turn round, which is why we like to use this with our trend lines, because as said before, the trend is your friend till the bend at the end. So we'll follow this trend up like this, and say it's hitting these targets nicely, and then all of a sudden it comes back down. It might hit that trend and carry on up, but then it might drop through. Well, then we know that the trend has reversed. So we use these two together. They're very simple. Chart it out yourself, exactly like I've done, and you'll notice how accurate these actually are. So I hope this helped, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and click that notification bell so we can keep you updated. See you on the next ones.